My dear friends, today we have some very exciting news for The Mandalorian Season 4. It's not expected to go into production for quite a while, but now that both strikes are over, including the actors' strike, numerous cast members of various Star Wars shows have come out and expressed for the first time in months their excitement for what's coming up, and one of these actors was Katee Sackhoff, Bo-Katan herself. She took to social media to post a picture of her on the set of Mando Season 3 and also teased her excitement and involvement in the upcoming production for Season 4. In the image shared to Instagram, we see Bo-Katan's costume and hairdo, presumably while on the set of Mando. She expressed that she misses her baby when travelling, but is simultaneously looking forward to reprising the role of Bo. Now, while at face value this post could mean very little, it's clearly intended to hint at Bo in Season 4. Introduced in live action in Season 2, she then played a pivotal role in the third season with the reunification of Mandalore. Now, we always expected Mando Season 4, given the tease at the end of Season 3, to return to the classic formula, returning to focusing on Mando and Grogu, now working for the New Republic, undergoing dangerous missions, and exploring the galaxy anew. But given Season 4 is also going to be a precursor to Dave Filoni's film, it makes sense to also have more of Bo, more of what's going on Mandalore, and even teasing a new threat. Remember guys, Dathomir is right next door. Not only are the catacombs zombie armies about to spawn, but if Grand Admiral Thrawn catches onto the news of the growing presence of Mandalorians, he will do his best to take them down. But there is an added layer of poetry. During the Clone Wars, one of the leaders of Mandalore was Maul, an outsider who Bo-Katan considered unworthy to rule, due to her belief that the leader of Death Watch should only be Mandalorian. Maul's rule brought chaos and suffering to the planet, and Bo-Katan, a staunch defender of Mandalorian tradition and honor, could not support his brutal tactics. Bo-Katan eventually joined forces with Ahsoka Tano and the Republic to fight against Maul's forces. The Siege of Mandalore was a monumental moment in the war. So how does this relate to Mando Season 4? Well, all of these years later, there is no way the Great Mothers don't know who Maul was. They might take her opposition from back in the day personally, and might have added motive to defeat her. And in this way, they might use their dark magic to conjure up a clone of Maul. It could be a dark vision, a manifestation, using magic, something to truly terrorize Bo and the Mandos. But Season 3 delivered a long-anticipated moment, showing the disparate people of Mandalore finally reunited, reclaiming the home world from Moff Gideon's Imperial forces. Katee's post might tease that she's already seen the script. It's been written for a long time, and my guess is that a primary involvement is rebuilding the home world. They still have a lot of work to do on a once devastated planet, maybe negotiating with the New Republic, while also trying to acquire more allies. And I've said this before, but just because Moff Gideon is out the way doesn't mean other Imperial Remnant forces can't pose a threat to Mandalore, because they do, and I'm not just talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn. But he might have nefarious plans that do involve the homeworld if he's trying to take over Moff Gideon's projects across the galaxy, and he might determine Mandalore's no doubt growing influence now that it's been repopulated as a threat. He'll possibly try to intercede before the people become too dangerous for him to counter. This might be the season we see the Mythosaur rising out of the water, maybe being ridden by Grogu, to defend Mandalore, the symbol of the Mandalorians itself. How Season 4 will play out is anyone's guess. But when can we expect to see it? When is going to come the day when we log on to Disney Plus and it's there? Well, let's talk about this, because bestbinbulletin.com have a wonderful article about what to expect for Star Wars now the strikes are over. And here is the section for Mando Season 4. The fourth season of Mando was slated to begin production in late September of 2023, with the series creator Jon Favreau touting in the spring that he already finished the script. Presumably Favreau completed his work ahead of time, in preparation for the Writers Guild of America strike, which began on May 2nd, 2023. However, filming on The Mandalorian Season 4 was promptly delayed shortly after the strike began, with the production being delayed indefinitely due to the strike. But the WGA strike concluded on September 27th. But even with the writers' strike over, The Mandalorian did not set a new production date, as SAG-AFTRA began striking midway through the WGA strike. But now with the strikes over, you'd assume Lucasfilm and Disney are going to start circling dates on calendars for various productions to start or restart. Deadline mentioned that network series seem to be the current focus to get back into production for major studios, which does include Disney. with many hoping to restart in November or early December. Before the strikes even started, Bespin Bulletin heard that The Mandalorian Season 4 was a 2025 release, and they're sticking with this, early 2025. So filming won't start until the new year, probably January of 2024. And just like in Season 3, they say Pedro Pascal will likely not take part in any filming, this time due to his commitments to Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2, which is due to begin filming very soon. And The Last of Us Season 2 will film in spring of 2024, overlapping with production on Mando Season 4. So in case you're wondering, are we going to see Helmut Din in Season 4? The answer is probably no. On the subject of Ahsoka Season 2, Bespin Bulletin are not too convinced by the most recent news. Here's what they say. The second season has yet to be greenlit, so all the rumours saying it's already been given the green light, it's a go-ahead, we need to hold our horses. They say the last we heard was that Lucasfilm was still having discussions about the possibility of a second season of Ahsoka coming to fruition from a deadline report. This was following the season finale. Bespin Bulletin goes on to say they were not planning to include Ahsoka on this list. But due to a narrative they've seen being pushed since they started writing this article, they've seen users on social media claiming or pushing the idea that Season 2 was unable to be announced due to the strike, but that it was going ahead. This is more than likely not the case. Various studios have announced new seasons for various TV shows, and Ahsoka is not one of them on the Disney rota. They do believe, however, a second season is going to be announced in due time, but it's not going to film until much later in 2024 at the earliest. And it is worth reiterating story-wise, we don't know if Mando Season 4 has to take place first, or Dave's film. This could be far ahead in the future. I wouldn't count on an immediate second season being produced and announced. I do think the priority for Lucasfilm, at least in the context of the Mandoverse, is Mando Season 4. I said this when I did cover the rumour that Ahsoka 2 was greenlit. So as amazing as it was, we just have to be patient. And who's to say characters in the known galaxy such as Hera and Ezra aren't also going to feature in Mando Season 4 first? And there is something we need to talk about with these upcoming shows. Whether it's Mando, Ahsoka, you name it, Bob Iger has said one thing. With all of these upcoming shows for Marvel and Star Wars, the budget is being cut. And we're probably going to notice that the most in Andor Season 2, because the first season had a crazy budget, it was truly a one-off. But also Ahsoka's second season, they might cut the budget for that as well, depending on what they're trying to do with it. If it mostly focuses on Peridea, so we're not bouncing back between galaxies, and so therefore probably less cinematic shots, no Ring of Sion, or anything like that, then it makes sense, it might be a bit cheaper to produce. So those are the latest updates. I'm personally so excited for Mando Season 4. What do you guys think? Share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and if you want access to more videos that you can't find here on YouTube, and we do have some very interesting ones you don't want to miss, then check out the link to my Patreon down below. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the Force be with you, always.